Local business here in Santa Clarita is what we thrive on. It's really cool about doing business locally is that we get to know each other, we get to trust each other, and we really get that really good interaction as opposed to like the faceless conglomerates that may not even have service in the region. They send someone out from somewhere else, or it's a faceless kind of a chat group or something like that. PCS Group here in Santa Clarita does great things for businesses, including data backup and what's called disaster recovery. Here with me this morning is Ricardo, and with him is one of his very good clients, Steve Korn of Newhall Escrow. Steve Korn, of course, a friend of the station. We've seen you all around. We just talked about the chili cook-off last week, talking about you meeting the Roxanne of the police song fame. But we're here to talk about Newhall Escrow and also the importance of data backup and recovery, because it's not all just paper anymore. There's a lot, Steve, involving electronic documentation and things that require computer backup. So what would happen if by chance everything went down in this day and age?
It'd be catastrophic to us because think about it, at any given time we have a multitude of files, escrow files that are in process, various stages, and we need to have that data backed up nightly because we wouldn't be able to rebuild it. It would take us weeks and months to do that, and people rely on their homes to close escrow so they can move in or move out, and it wouldn't be very popular if we had to say, sorry, your transaction is going to be delayed by, let's see, about 3 days until we can rebuild your file on our computer.
Yeah, let's start over. Oh yeah, and we all know as it gets closer to closing of escrow, homeowners and buyers they're pretty laid back. They're okay with that.
Yeah,
no,
sure.
They're not. But then the thing too, escrow. In case you've never heard of, in case you never bought it or sold a house, you've never, unless you bought it somewhere else in the world where they don't use escrow, it's a paper trail basically, or now a virtual paper trail almost with the transaction regarding the buyer and seller. It's what you do as an objective source to make sure everything's there, but paper nonetheless when you're signing, but it's all also backed up on computer now. So Ricardo, tell me a little bit about what you do with PCS Group and how they interact with Newhall Escrow.
Sure. Just really quickly, we're celebrating our 25th year in business.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And with regard to disaster and backup recovery, the main issue that we see is that oftentimes, we talk about disaster and then, tornadoes and earthquakes, and those are real, they can happen. But I think when you bring it down to a more workable, understandable level, we're talking about power outages, maybe employee theft, employee error, somebody deletes a file they weren't supposed to. That can become a critical issue when you're running your day-to-day. So what we're trying to do is make sure that you have the proper amount of data being backed up at a very significant moment in time so that you have the ability to recover that data should something happen, like theft or fire or employee error, that kind of thing.
Tripping over the plug in the computer room.
It happens.
Well, and there are things, even power surges, anything that can cause those issues, and that is really important because that's the whole thing. The computer goes blank, and it's one thing, but if you can start it back up and everything's there, that's good. When you start it up and it's not is when the panic sets in, personally, but especially professionally.
Yeah, we have an amazing solution that is very, very sophisticated, and obviously we keep this conversation very non-technical. Bottom line is many clients or many companies have a type of backup. They'll tell us, I have my files backed up, and they feel pretty comfortable. The issue is that that's only half of the solution, because being able to recover, pulling up those files is the second part of that. And so what we've done for Steve is create a way to be able to image his files, his critical data. It's almost like you're taking a picture or a clone. So that if his server was completely just blown up, obliterated somehow, or somebody walked off with it, fire, what have you, we're able to spin it up so that he's not losing, number one, his data, but also his ability to continue running his business day to day.
Right, and so the backup mirror, the kind of imaging the backup, in other words, you could just go pick up right from where you left off, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So very important. And Steve, how your interaction with PCS been professional, been great? They've been there when you needed them?
Absolutely. We had a recent issue where our website host company was having some what they thought was malware spam issues, and the system automatically shut our incoming emails down. And it was catastrophic for us because communication these days is all done via email, delivery of documents and reports, et cetera. And Bob Greet, the owner of PCS Group, personally came out to the site with his team. And after they were addressing things remotely, doing what they could, on the phone as most companies would. And he saw the situation escalate and said, I'm out there. And he came out on site and got the situation stabilized and got us back on track. So I really appreciated that kind of service.
So that level, going the extra mile to make sure, because that is, really, I used to be in in the real estate industry and understand how important escrow is, and when that's gone, or if the buyer or seller even remotely thinks that there's something wrong with their escrow, that's it. That they can pull the whole plug and just cancel everything.
It was
for everybody.
critical. It was
so
critical.
It's very important. So that's really good. And even still, though, with that, and that's really awesome that he came out to go that extra mile, the extra level of service. But even still, the good thing, we've talked about this before, Ricardo, is that you do have the opportunity to start at least with remote diagnostics, so you're not waiting for a technician to come out. And a lot of times that can, in many cases, solve the problem a lot quicker, or at least diagnose it a lot quicker, so you can determine how you can go.
Absolutely.
And that's amazing. PCS Group, give me your email address, your website address.
So we're www.pcsscv.com.
PCSSCV.com. And how do they contact you?
They can look us up online or give us a call. Our number is 818-240-0036.
Outstanding. And also Newhall Escrow, located on Lyons Avenue, newhallescrow.com. Steve Korn, thanks so much for coming out.
Thanks a lot, George.
Ricardo, thank you so much also.
Thank you for having
And it's good to see you guys again.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
All right.